Okay, so what I'm going to talk about here is basically class difficulty versus rating gains for melee classes in PvP and MoP. Because the melee classes all are kind of different difficulties and different strengths. So if you want to know what to roll, then this might be helpful for you. What we've got is rating here, right? And over here we've got skill. Okay. Now, if we're comparing classes, right? If we say our benchmark is kind of, let's just say it's warrior, dude. Honestly, then warrior is kind of pretty linear. I think it's really really strong, but has a lot of tools. So it's pretty linear. This is the worst straight line ever, but you get the picture. Now people are like, oh, why is Rogue so bad? Rogue's bad. This is why Rogue's so bad, right? Rogue is not going to get as much rating. Rogue is generally weaker than Warrior, right? And it's not going to get as much rating, right, for your skill level. And it's gonna burst up right at the end, right, to probably about the same rating as the Warrior, right? It can pretty much peak at the same rating. If you've got a really good Rogue, you can do absolute workers like RMD, and you can be really strong as RMP as well. There's a couple of good comps for it. But your average Joe sitting around this rating is gonna have a bad time, right? They're gonna be much better off on the Warrior, and they're gonna have much more rating. This is maybe like 300 rating more, maybe more even, right, in that difference. And then, over here, we've got something like Enhanced Shaman, right, which is doing something like this, and then plateauing way lower, right? I say way lower, a little bit lower, because at the tippity top, right, top skill cap players, the warrior is going to get more out of the class than the enhanced shaman. But the enhanced shaman is going to get a lot more rating early on because being an average player is going to net you more gains. So then what else? What have we got left? We got like Rets. Rets are just similar to rogues. I'd say Rets is something like that. It's a little bit lower than Rogue, but being a really good Ret doesn't actually net you as much. Maybe I could be a bit more generous. I think Ret is going to be slightly more than Rogue, but something like that. Because there's not that much you can do on Ret after a certain point. You can be good with your freedoms and your bops, but that's kind of it. What else? We've got DKs. DKs are, I would say DKs are just basically warriors, but slightly worse. I think something like this, and they're probably going to peak out slightly lower as well. Maybe somewhere similar to the Enhanced Shaman. The ones peaking out higher are going to be your higher comps at the end of the season for the rank 1 teams. So that's like the overall strength at rank 1 level. Whereas this sharper graph, so this slightly easier classes, so like earlier on, this is going to be like your 2Ks, right? It's a lot easier to get 2K on the Sham than on the Warrior. The DK is a little worse. And that's most of them. Oh, I guess you got Feraldra as well. Ferald's just generally not great. I think Feral is just basically similar line to the Ret. I actually think they even have a little bit less than Ret. But it's pretty much on par. There's not a lot in it. I think they're both equally weak compared to most of the other stuff. So if you want a nice easy class, if you're not sure what to play, and you want to get to like 2.2k if you weapon enchants, Enhanced Shaman's probably a good shout. Warrior's a decent shout. DK is not a bad shout. Everything else, you're going to have a much harder time.